Hello, word fans, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Hello, Word. I'm your host, Alex, and I'm thrilled you're joining me today as we delve into the wonderful world of vocabulary. Today's word is concession. Now, concession is a C1 level noun, and it essentially means something given up in an agreement. Think of it as a compromise, something you yield to reach a deal or understanding. It implies a negotiation where someone gives something up, not necessarily because they want to, but to achieve a larger goal. So, the definition in a nutshell is a thing that is granted, especially in response to demands, something conceded. Let's break it down further. Imagine you're negotiating a salary. You initially ask for $60,000, but the company offers $55,000. Eventually, you agree on $57,000. That $3,000 difference from your initial ask is a concession you made to reach an agreement. It's that simple. Now, let's explore some synonyms to enrich your understanding. A great synonym for concession is compromise. For example, the peace treaty involved significant compromises from both sides. Another synonym is allowance. We can use it like this. As an allowance for his age, he was given lighter duties. Another option is accommodation. The hotel offered an accommodation for the noisy construction next door by providing earplugs. We also have waiver. The company granted a waiver on the late fee due to the circumstances. Let's look at one more. Yielding. The government's yielding to the protesters' demands led to significant policy changes. Now that we've explored synonyms, let's consider some antonyms, words that have the opposite meaning of concession. A strong antonym is insistence. Her insistence on having her way made negotiations difficult. Another antonym could be refusal. His refusal to compromise stalled the deal. We could also use denial. The government's denial of the opposition's requests led to widespread protests. Another antonym to consider is rejection. The rejection of the peace offering prolonged the conflict. And finally, let's look at resistance. The community's resistance to the new development project was fierce. Now, how can you use concession in everyday life? Well, it pops up more often than you think. Think about negotiating chores with your kids. You might say, okay, I'll make a concession and let you skip emptying the dishwasher tonight, but you have to do it tomorrow. Or, imagine you're arguing with a friend about where to eat. You could say, I'm willing to make a concession and go to your favorite restaurant this time if we go to mine next time. Another example, as a small concession, the landlord agreed to lower the rent by $50. Another example is in everyday expressions like making concessions to keep the peace. Or, you might hear about trade concessions between countries, meaning agreements to lower tariffs or other trade barriers. Let's put this word into a few more sentences to really solidify its meaning. The company made several concessions to the union to avoid a strike. The lawyer advised his client to make some concessions during the negotiation to secure a favorable outcome. In the interest of reaching an agreement, we were willing to make certain concessions. He only won the argument because I made a major concession. She demanded several concessions before agreeing to sign the contract. The government offered tax concessions to encourage foreign investment. The builder provided some concessions because of the construction delays. After much debate, both sides were willing to make some concessions. The company granted some concessions in terms of working hours to retain employee satisfaction. So, to recap, concession means something given up in an agreement, a compromise made to reach a desired outcome. We explored synonyms like compromise, allowance, accommodation, waiver, and yielding. We also looked at antonyms like insistence, refusal, denial, rejection, and resistance. And we saw how concession is used in everyday conversations, from negotiating chores to discussing international trade. That brings us to the end of another episode of Hello, Word. Thank you so much for tuning in. Before you go, Please subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Your support helps others find our show and learn new vocabulary. And most importantly, I'd love to see you put this new word to use. Create your own sentence using Concession and share it as a comment below. Until next time, keep expanding your vocabulary and keep saying hello to new words. Bye for now.